YouTube. Welcome to my channel. R Payne here. Marriage, politics, and sports. Hey, listen, this is my 13th installment of Divest from the Democrat Party. This is an ongoing aftermath of Biden's open door, border policy and the criminal element that followed with this policy. Now, years ago, there was, I think they call it the Mariano boat lift from Cuba, where Castro emptied all his jails and mixed in with people who were really seeking freedom. He put all his criminals on boats and sent them to America down in Cuba, from Cuba to probably mostly in Florida. And they dispersed everywhere, all kinds of criminal element. I don't know whether it's 10% or some percentage of his jails were just let out and sent here to America. That became art, imitating life. That became what came of like Scarface, the movie. Some of that is, that movie was fictional, but the criminal element was not. So now magnify that by an order of magnitudes where they just letting everybody from the prisons and everything from South America flowing into our country, from China, from Haiti, from Africa, anywhere you want to go. Somehow these people are finding their way to the border of America to get in. How are they getting there? Nobody's asking these questions, but I have a couple of videos. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. It's not going to be real long. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, listen, this is politics. It's in my title. So I'm going to talk a little politics. That's why this is the 13th. I know a lot of people want to pick sides, but my side's clear. I've been voting Democrat for a long time, and it's time for, I think, Black people to think differently in the way we vote. We're seeing it crumble, inner cities crumbling. We're seeing migrants replacing Blacks in neighborhoods, taking the few tax dollars that are earmarked for anybody, not just Black people, but anybody, and they're giving it to people who are not even here legally. I don't see how people can't be outraged by that. Outraged. But anyway, I got a few slides that I'm gonna show, and we're gonna chop it up a little bit. At least I am. I'm very disappointed with how way things are going, and so this is my little way of venting. So I shared some of this with you, and so okay. So in New York City, where Eric Adams has destroyed the city by being a sanctuary city, it's not really his fault only because the governor allowed it. But he had his open arms until he realized that he can't afford it. The city can't afford it. And not only are they bringing in people who need to get asylum, they're bringing in a real serious criminal enterprise. And here's an example. There's no sound to this, but I'm gonna play this little video of the moped cartel that's going around the city and ripping people off. I don't think they've actually unalived or actually deleted anybody just yet. But sooner or later somebody's going to resist and they're going to get hurt. So we're going to play a little bit of this. Fair use, and we're going to go from there. It's a short video. There's no sound to it, but just take a look at this innocent person being robbed. Now, I don't understand why they blurred out the person's face. I mean, I guess that's the victim's face, but I guess they were trying to say if you're going to look at anybody, look at the criminals. That makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Now, this guy is, he's getting robbed, but he's lucky they didn't hurt him, right? Because sometimes criminals just don't leave it at that. So let me stop that right there. We don't need to see any more. But this is what's going on in New York, you know, and it's prevalent. It's not just a one-off. This is just one example of, I mean, real fast. These people just got here. They got mopeds, they got a crime ring, they're organized, and they're all over the place. How can that be so fast unless that element was strategically sent? in the midst of all the rest of the illegal immigrants. Now, a lot of these immigrants, nobody wants to really say this, but the vast majority of the illegals are men of between like 18 and 35 or 40. The men. These not all kids, not all women. It's a lot of able-bodied men with nothing else to do in their country. They sent them here to do work, and what kind of work? Yeah, we're looking at it right now. All right, so here's Eric Adams, and again, he's trying to take credit for them uncovering uh, 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 a brothel, right? Again, they set up brothels in the red light district, quote unquote. When you have a red light district, that's kind of saying you got a district where they allow legal activity to go on. So there's an organized Venezuelan brothel that they found in Queens that they busted. Now, I don't have a video of him, but he actually went on the raid, you know, and to stop it. So to act like he was involved, trying to be a cop again. So I'm gonna play that one. This is a short video too, but you listen to it, listen to him about this. This is the thing is, there's really no accountability that he is partially responsible for letting this element in.
Is this a situation that needs to be addressed? Is it impacting this neighborhood? There are several communities involved in a certain way, and businesses.
Yes, and I would love to
Fair use, fair use.
take a trip with you over there and show. I went out. This was brought by local leaders a few months ago, and I went out there. I think around about 1:30 a.m. and it was clear that there were illegal activity taking place there. And this is where idealism collides with realism. While we are fighting to address the issues of sex workers, sex trafficking, there are elected officials who are fighting against us, trying to legalize sex work. They believe it is a victimless crime. And I've had elected officials tell me that the women are just trying to work while you trying to harm them. Um, there are real issues around illegal sex work. Not only the from STDs to sex trafficking to young girls getting involved with it to violence. Uh, you know, so people who don't understand how serious this is, they are impeding our progress.
We have heard that some of the Venezuelan women that are coming in might have been part of this now, this increasing population.
Our intel is telling us there's a level of accuracy to that. And this is Mary, this is what happens when you create an atmosphere that people can't provide for themselves. You can't work illegally, you can't carry out your job. When I talk about the spiraling impact of how this is going to impact our city, this is what I'm talking about. It is going to impact the foundation of the quality of life of our city.
All right, so that's enough of that. So you hear what he had to say about that. Whether you believe him or not, it's a serious situation and he has to deal with it, you know. And it's look how fast it happened. The migrants have come over and they set up shop. This is organized stuff, folks. And they're all over the place. This is just a microcosm of New York City, doing the same thing in Chicago, over there in California. It's just one of those things. It's bad, and we're in the midst. All right, so I got a couple more that I want to share as well. Listen, I guess Dr. Phil is on a victory tour, and he's on the View, and he's got a few things to say there about child trafficking and the possibilities of childs being delivered to the traffickers by government agencies and government unwittingly, but the way they do checks and balances is just completely off. So he talks a little bit about that. So we're gonna play that for you, and I'm gonna just have to find the starting point, so we don't have
Answer
to.
the question.
Have be safe.
Let me.
From the other union. I asked him straight up, kids are coming over the border with numbers written on them, phone numbers and addresses. Do we check those out? He said, well, we call them. Is it possible that we're sending them into known prostitution rings or sweatshops? He said, it's not possible. It is absolute. We are using American tax dollars to ship children into known prostitution and sweatshops.
Some children.
Well, who knows?
Okay.
We don't know. I said, are you?
So what kind of checking do they do? So
They call the number and say, do you know about this child? They say, yes. Will you receive them when they come? Yes. I said, is it possible that's a prostitution ring? He said, we know enough to know that in a number of cases, it has turned out to be absolute sex ring. It has turned out to be an absolute sweatshop. I said, how is this possible?
Well, what do they?
He said, it is happening.
What do they do then if they know that that's happening? Where is the U.S. Attorney's Office? Where is the?
Let me just stop it right there. You know where this is going. There's nobody doing anything. And this lady who just finished talking, named Sony Houston, she asked him, is it all of them or a few of them? Like a few of them is acceptable. You know, that was the stupidest question. Now, I'm glad he didn't like embarrass her, you know, and just say, you know, what kind of dumb question is that? You know what I'm saying? What kind of idiotic question is it, all of them or just a few? If it was just one, it's one too many. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I mean, you know, I know The View is one of the most horrible shows on television, but you know, all these liberal women can't be that stupid. You know? So anyway, you know, I'm just telling you that, you know, we've always had a border problem. You know, Republicans were trying to do something with at one point with Trump, and we had people against that, but there was never ever as open as it is now. And so this last one I'm gonna show you is Dr. Phil on Joe Rogan. Okay, he's on Joe Rogan's. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, fair use. But he's talking about the Chinese immigrants that come here and illegally, and men of not only of soldier age, of spy age. They're buying farmland all across America, all strategically placed by our military installations. And then people are freely selling the land to them. You know what I'm saying? And they're all over the place. And so I'm gonna let him say it. I'm gonna let him speak, and because he has some numbers for you. You know, 33,000 illegal aliens. You know, I got 33,000. Let me add a zero here. 33,000 illegal Chinese immigrants in the United States.
Asking the question really kind of hit me, and uh, writing that last year 33,000 plus Chinese came across the border illegally. Did you know that? And I just want you to know, and do with it as you will. And if it causes you to start
I gotta do that again.
Why didn't somebody just say what's happening on platform to just, I mean, somebody needs to say, have you thought about, or did you know that last year 33,000 plus Chinese came across the border illegally? Did you know that? And I just want you to know, and do with it as you will. And if it causes you to start asking questions and writing your congressman or asking questions of them, then great. But you ought to at least know this is happening. I don't want you to come up 5 years from now and say, well, nobody ever said anything to me. Well, yeah, they did. I raised my hand and I said it. And maybe it'll cause somebody else to say it. Somebody else to say it.
Has anybody had a conversation with you about this that has an opposing perspective?
Oh, of course. I mean,
What is their perspective?
their perspective is these aren't illegal immigrants. You can't. That's not kind to say they're illegal.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we've always used that term, for lack of a better term.
well, okay. So,
Undocumented. What do you want to call
well, that's unkind.
them? Yeah.
They're migrants, and I understand they want to be here. I don't begrudge them that. If I was living over there, under an oppressive government like that, I would want to be gone, and I totally get it. I would want to be out of there. I really do. I get that, but that doesn't change the fact that we have to pretend that we don't know what's going on. We need to be aware of it, and if it means that we need to say, look, this is concerning. We shouldn't be selling farmland around military installations. There's a lot of land to buy. Wonder why they're buying it right up against military installations.
Have any politicians talked about this? Has Trump ever talked about this?
Not that I am aware of.
Why would that not be something he would bring up?
Well, you would certainly think he would.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I know he's talked about the border, but I don't think he's talked about it in depth. Is it possible that he's not aware of it as far as the way you're aware of it?
God, how could he not?
How could he not be? But then again, the guy's got like 5 legal cases going on. He's running for president. He's selling sneakers.
Yeah.
See the sneakers?
No, I
Pretty
saw
fresh.
that he was
Selling a
selling.
pair for Tony Hinchcliffe. They're perfect for
Yeah.
him. They're gold. They're gold sneakers. You got like 3 pairs. One's white, one's red. Yeah. Hey, stop it, Jamie. Oh, I heard there was 5.
Now, listen, I'm just keeping this going because there's a map that he's going to show.
Because we're wearing for Sober October.
Okay,
Look at those things. Look at these monstrosities. Look at these things.
oh wow, you're gonna get a pair?
Oh hell yeah! I can see Dr. Phil Rock.
How do I airdrop something to you?
Oh, here we
How do
go.
you come up?
Do like Jimmy's MacBook Pro.
Got
MVP.
Bam.
I just airdropped this to you. It says waiting. Okay,
What is this?
this is this map with the military.
Fine, so I'm
installations. You gotta
gonna
look at this.
watch the map.
Is it similar to what he just showed?
No,
Jamie just showed where the farmland was.
yeah,
So,
this is different. Look
Okay.
at this.
so there's the military.
That's the farmland. There's the military installations on top of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so y'all can. Yeah, he might make a
That's
close up of it.
Look at that.
Look at all the red farmland,
is
and
that-
military
That's not
installation.
farmland.
But is that accidental? Come on. That's not random.
It doesn't seem too random, but it also seems amazing how much farmland they have.
Yeah.
Was this always legal?
Let me stop it right there. So you see what's going on. You see what's going on. I mean, I don't know if it's because a remnants of our democracy or the perceived freedom that we have, or just a lot of politicians asleep at the switch, and the liberalism that's going on, and the fact that the Democrats are in charge. But the Chinese didn't buy all that land just under the Democrats. Let's put it to you. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about that. They bought all that land over a course of years, right? And nobody's doing anything about it. I think they have some legislation in some states where they refuse to sell certain lands to the Chinese. But you heard it in the news and then it was gone. Okay, so let me just get to another chart here. And I want to just go ahead and just kind of say where we are. All right, so that's it. I don't no more videos. I just want to say a little bit. So all this is going on. The cities are decaying. We got corrupt mayors, corrupt DAs. We got rampant crime in the inner cities. We have broken families across the board, not just in the Black communities. We got no marriages. We have We're funding a war in proxy war in the Ukraine. We're funding a massacre in Israel against the Palestinians. What are we doing? With just no peace dividend to be had by anybody, and the president to get black votes, he bought a bucket of chicken to some black people because you can get black votes with just giving them a bucket of chicken or stepping and fetch it and dancing or doing something stupid as an entertainment, and that's how they get our votes. Why would anybody vote for Biden? Because they're afraid of the orange man? And none of these people can tell us that the orange man has done anything to destroy the black family as much as Joe Biden on the steps of during segregation saying, don't let these blackies in here, they're going to destroy our educational system. On in a well of the Senate when he pretty much assaulted Anita Hill again in the Clarence Thomas thing, calling black kids roaches. And then the crime bill broke more families than anybody else. And everybody wants to give him a pass. Okay, tell me what Trump did to black folks. Somebody tell me what, he didn't get somebody an apartment and shit. Listen, we are so screwed. Tell me what the Congressional Black Caucus has done for anybody. Somebody tell me, what's hiring black faces and electing black faces in high places? What does it do for Chicago? What's it doing for New York? There's a couple of black mayors that are really doing some stuff and they're low key, The brother up in Buffalo seems to have his thing under control. There's another brother doing some things in Flint, not Flint, in one of these rejuvenalization. I forgot where it is. He's doing something. It's Gary, Gary, Indiana. There's a few things going on, but but in other places, people are under investigation for doing what the other folks have done because they got drunk with power. I mean, it's a mess, man. And listen, we're being eradicated from the from within by ourselves, and nobody wants to say. I don't say nobody. I'm saying something. God damn it! This has got to stop. We got to think differently as a people or individually. I don't care. We don't need to have groupthink. And that's one of our problems. We had group things by just voting for the Democrats. We need to break this shit up. We're not monolithic. Anyway, I can go on and on, but I put this caricature of a black man eating chicken because that's what Joe Biden sees. That's what he sees, a couple of jigaboos, eating fried chicken to get votes. So listen, I don't see how people are not tired of being abused, and taken for granted. Anyway, that's it for me today. That's my rant. Our pain, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.